Well, I came to Ireland about 8 years ago. I was planning for a year or two, and there you go. I've been here for 8 years. I suppose I came out of curiosity, but also, well, I used to be an English teacher in Poland, and so I decided to learn the language at last. And a friend of mine was living here in Sligo at that time, so he invited me. I came and I stayed. So Ireland is all about music, crack and all that, so I think it's a perfect place to be if you're a musician and if you want to develop in this vein, you know. I was shopping in Lidl, yeah, it was a year ago, and sticks, Hurley sticks were on sale. I grabbed one, looked at it, and I thought, why not put a string on it, or two? Came back home, found a few things that matched, and you know, like machine heads and things like that. It took me a few days to put it together. I plugged it in, it sounded good, so that's how it all started off. There's a lot of Irishness about it, obviously, and there's a long history of Hurley stick guitars in Ireland. I'm sure you know the story of your mighty hero, Cuchulainn, yeah? So legend has it that after killing the ferocious beast, the hound of Cuchulainn, he ripped open the dog and took out his steaming guts and dried them in the sun, and then used them to string his Hurley, except he didn't. But I always like to think that there's this, you know, this mythical connection to it. Yeah, and I always make one instrument at a time. So I handpick materials. I prefer to work with genuine materials like leather, bone, wood, brass, copper, things like that. They look nice and they're good materials. I usually stain, actually dye Hurleys in different colors, and then I wax each of them. I prefer to make most of the stuff by hand, you know. So it takes a bit of time, you know, and then inspiration is everywhere, you know. The Hurley stick is a perfect tool in itself. It started off as a weapon. It's very effective, and also obviously you play hurling with it. It feels good. It looks good. It smells good because, you know, Irish ash is a fantastic wood. I'm in a band called the Out of Towners, and we just finished recording our first EP. And actually the title song, which is Daydreaming, features one of the sticks. You know, they're made for playing, you know. Some of them end up on somebody's mantelpiece, you know, but they still make good instruments, you know. So, and because I play them, I have to experiment a lot, you know, putting 1, 2 strings, you know, experimenting with different tunings and different materials. They all sound different, you know, longer, shorter, sustained, things like that. Every shtick is different. They're all unique because it goes back to this idea of making your own instrument. They're also called diddly bows in some parts of the world, like America, for example. And the history goes back well over 100 years, right? And then the black musicians didn't have much. All they had was their love for music, really. And they obviously couldn't afford buying a new instrument or a real instrument, I mean like factory made instrument, so they had to make their own instruments, right? They didn't look good, probably, they were not perfect, but they had a lot of mojo in it. Obviously, there are no manuals how to play a Hurley shtick guitar. You know, I contacted local GEA club, and they couldn't tell me anything about tabs and chords and things like that. So I had to, work on my own. You know, and it's lots of fun, and they're so fun to play. If you'd like to find out more about the shticks, you can go on to Facebook. It's facebook.com/DaShtick guitars.